In this Morigami video, we're going to learn how to make an origami bow tie. This bow tie, which as you can see is wearable. You put a little paper clip in the back, and is one sheet of paper kind of tied into a knot. I recommend that you use 11-inch square paper to get this size bow tie, which is more or less the proper size for a real bow tie. So 11-inch paper, not too thick, but also not too thin, because if you plan on wearing it, it could get wrinkled. So we're using today a medium weight paper called Eurocolor from Art Papel, made in Mexico. So let's fold. There you can cut to where I actually get it in a